2. Hey guys, I want to welcome you for tonight's webinar and also for hosting in Corona. Thank you, Ryan, Dr. Chuck. It's an amazing opportunity, guys. It's such an amazing opportunity because we're basically on the internet, which is crazy because we're now international. Not only do we have a product that goes in 180 countries, but yet the whole world could check us out now. So by the time we get to them, they know who we are and what we do. This is such an unbelievable opportunity because today we have a guy that's about to speak. He's literally in the regional 100 top. I can't even say so much. I mean, this guy is gifted. He's one of the mentors. He is humble. He is one of the leaders here for our FGX family. I want to introduce right here my buddy Johnny P.
Thank you. Oh, I appreciate that so much. Thank you, Brian, for having me over tonight. And FGX world, FGX family, what can we say? So, hey, Ryan asked me to come over tonight and just share a little bit about my story and how I got involved with FGX. So I'm a working guy. Work about 50, 60 hours a week, and I work in the steel industry and you know, and building FGX in the nooks and crannies of my life. And my beautiful wife Claudia and I have we got involved in the business last January, and so I wanted to share a little bit about that story and how we got involved and how simple that this business is. So I actually got a phone call from a friend of mine out in Colorado, and he had heard about the power strips, and he said, "Hey, you need to contact Roy," which I want to give a shout out to my buddy Roy Griffin, who's out in Colorado right now and sharing this incredible opportunity in living rooms and dens out there. So big shout out to Roy Griffin for this. But so he said, "You need to get a hold of Roy, and you need to touch base with him." And so I called him up and I found out about this opportunity. And I've been in another opportunity with Roy prior to that, and a good business partner. So I trusted him, and a good friend. And so so I asked him if he got involved, and he said, "Yeah." And I said, "You know what? Well, sign me up." And because that's what friends do, right? Friends get involved with friends, and you know, we want to do this thing all together, lock in arms. So anyway, so I got involved, and I started to go and plug into the meetings, and I started to be involved with the leadership, and I started to find out about the products and the company and the comp plan. And I started to find out and got involved and wanted to grow the business. So so we went out to a meeting that Rob Alwyn was doing at his house, and actually Troy Curl came down, and so it was basically the first meeting that I went to. I got some of the product and went back home, and believe it or not, I didn't even try the product for a few weeks. I'm an ex-baseball player, and my arm gets pretty trashed out sometimes, and so I use them now for my elbow when it really flares up, and it's definitely awesome. But my testimony comes from actually a friend of mine that was down a couple weeks after we got involved, and they had come down to actually go to the zoo with their grandkids. Now this gal I've known for 25 years, and she's had over 50 surgeries, and she is just definitely, you know, a prime candidate for this. So anyways, they stayed the night with us, and in the morning, her and I were up, and we were having coffee, and I noticed her limping around in the kitchen, and so she had her Achilles heel repaired about 8 months prior to that, and so she was still limping from it from 8 months ago. But anyways, long story short, I was able to use the power strip on her ankle, and I put it on, and I went and I took a shower, and when I came back out, she was in our living room, and she was just like, "Wow, what is this? I have never," I mean, she was so excited. Now, mind you, she was going to be going to the zoo that day, and going to be pushed in a wheelchair with her grandkids. And that day was so awesome for her. I'll never forget it. She actually walked that whole day at the zoo. Now, I don't know if you guys have been to the zoo, or that, but there's a lot of walking that goes up and down the hills. And this gal walked all day on that, and obviously she got involved, and they're building a team up in Sacramento. But that was, you know, it was enough for me to get out there and want to help as many people as I could, start sharing this product, and just helping people, signing somebody up on my right and signing somebody up on my left, and just 2 by 2, we're going to go ahead and build this business. So, but anyways, I appreciate Ryan having me over tonight. I'm gonna kind of jump off here. There's some other guys I know that I think Ryan's going to come up and share the 5-star opportunity tonight. But guys, FTX is for real. This is the prime opportunity, the prime time to be involved. So if you're on this tonight, just checking this out, hey, get back with the person that invited you on this, because this is an incredible company. So Ryan, thank you, buddy. I appreciate you having me on, man.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So how's everybody doing tonight?
Good, great. All right.
I'll tell you what, this is a super fun business. It's just down to earth, you know. It's laid back, it's relaxed. I mean, we've got a phenomenal product, and it's a big deal to help people out of pain. And it's not just the physical pain, right? Because if statistics are even remotely accurate, in addition to the world suffering from physical pain, the other thing we know is that there's a lot of people that have financial burdens. And if you look at the way the whole process works, actually, for most people that do struggle with with physical pain, their financial pain is a contributing factor. You know, the number one cause of physical pain is inflammation in the body. The number one cause of inflammation in the body is stress. And the number one contributing factor to stress is what? Finances. And so, you know, I love the fact that we get to address both of these things all rolled up in one. And this business is just a lot of fun. You know, it's a community of people that want a little bit more out of life, and they're willing to become foot washing servant leaders in order to do it. And so you got to hear from Andrew, who's one of those foot washing servant leaders. You got to hear from Johnny, and you know, there's really an entire team of us from coast to coast across the entire country and all over the globe. This opportunity is amazing. We're on our way into 194 countries. We're scraping 180 already, and we're still in pre-launch. And so we're going to run through with you now some key components to our FG Xpress opportunity. We like to refer to this as a 5-star opportunity. And, you know, for a couple of reasons we do that. Number one is that most people probably already have heard of the concept of 5-star and recognize that 5-star is as good as it gets, right? Has anybody ever been on a 5-star resort, like 5-star vacation, right?
Oh, yeah.
Is 5-star good, or is it just so-so? It's awesome, right? Or how about like a vehicle, right? What's the safest car you can drive? 5-star crash test ratings, right? And so, you know, I think we all inherently understand already that the idea of 5-star designates that we're talking about the best it can possibly get. But the other reason we like to share our opportunity with FG Xpress in the format of a 5-star opportunity is that there's actually 5 key components that you have to have if you're going to have a breakthrough opportunity. I don't care if it's with FG Xpress. I don't care if it's in the home-based business industry or what you're looking at. It could be your job. It could be a traditional business. It's like baking a cake. It's a recipe. And just like a recipe, you can't leave ingredients out. You can't pick and choose and only include some of the ingredients. You need to have all of them, right? They're kind of non-negotiable in a recipe. Well, the same holds true for business, folks. There's 5 things you have to have if you're going to have a breakthrough opportunity. The first one is we're going to talk a little bit about the company, the corporate team with FG Xpress, this leadership group with FG Xpress. I'll tell you the highlights. Here are the highlights. From our visionary, phenomenal, big-hearted, amazing, fun-loving, incredible guy who, believe it or not, we actually are getting an opportunity to get to know our CEO. Like, how many times in your regular job do you get to spend time and get to know the CEO of what's becoming a billion-dollar company, right?
Never.
It doesn't happen, but I'll tell you, a lot of people in this room and probably a lot of you out there in internet land have gotten an opportunity to really interact with Ron Williams, our CEO. And yeah, not only is the guy down to earth and humble and genuine, he's one of the most capable, equipped, skilled, experienced, determined, dedicated, visionary CEOs in the business world today. And one of the things I love is that he's attracted around him, because of who he is, other phenomenal leaders in the business world. So there's about a half dozen men and women that are part of this corporate team who, in the home-based business industry, have a track record of helping previous businesses to grow to beyond $1 billion in revenue. Folks, that is no small feat. That's not to be taken lightly. If you can put yourself in a position where you could go into business with even one person who already had a track record of growing a company to over $1 billion in revenue, how many of you guys recognize you'd be in good company? Right? Of course you would.
Yeah.
So we got about a half dozen phenomenal men and women that are part of the corporate team with Forever Green FG Express that put us in position to really have a breakthrough opportunity. We are well on our way to be in the next $1 billion global business. One of the things I love is this. The parent company of FG Express is called Forever Green, and it's publicly traded. And they trade under the ticker symbol FVRG. And what I love is that creates transparency. You know, you don't got to take our word for anything. You can just go look it up. You can go do your own due diligence because they're publicly traded. They have reporting requirements, which creates transparency. And one of the things you'll see is we're growing triple digits right now, month over month. So we have an amazing corporate team. The other thing that is the next kind of key component, the next star, if you will, is the product lineup. And there's two things you have to have from a product standpoint. If you want a breakthrough opportunity, you have to have products that do a couple of things. Number one, you got to have products that are unique in the marketplace. Let me ask all of you all a question here. How many of you, before you got introduced to FG Express, had ever heard of an all-natural, FDA-listed, not pill or a potion, can put it on your body pain relief product? Never ever heard of that before? None of you have. Why? Because it didn't exist.
Nope.
It wasn't out there. We've got the only one-of-its-kind pain relief product in the world, all natural, FDA listed, actually in two categories, Class 1 medical device and an OTC, okay? And we're taking this product to the globe. So we do have a unique product that you can't get anywhere else. That's one of the ingredients you've got to have from a product standpoint to have a breakthrough opportunity. The other thing that you have to have is you need a product that is capable of creating an emotional connection in people. And you kind of got to hear a little bit about Johnny's story. We're going to maybe bring up some other people at the end of the 5-star presentation and maybe just share their product results. But chances are, the people in this room tonight, the people watching online, I bet you, how many of you guys have a result either personally or from people you've shared power tips with? It's really like emotional for people, like a breakthrough for them physically with their pain. Right? Absolutely. Folks, here's what I'll tell you. When you can help people to get out of pain and do it all naturally, there are a few things that are more emotional for the person you're helping. And so this is a business of literally helping people. And one of the other really cool things about our entire product lineup that you see here, we call these our envelope products. We've got our Power Strips for pain. We've got a product called Solar Strips, which is a phenomenal source of all natural whole food nutrition, where the primary ingredient is marine phytoplankton, which has all the nutrients that your human body needs to thrive. And it's just a more convenient delivery system to get all the nutrients that your body needs. Let me ask you guys another question. How many of you guys want to try to be healthy, right? Let me ask you a question. Is nutrition a one-time thing, or is it something we're supposed to do every day?
Every day.
Every day, right? Is nutrition just for people in Corona, California?
No.
Is nutrition just for people in the United States?
No.
Is nutrition for everybody on the planet?
Yeah.
Is nutrition just for old people?
No.
Is nutrition just for young people?
No.
It's for everybody, right?
Yes.
Now, let me get a show of hands. I can't see all of you in internet land, but I can get a show of hands from everybody here tonight. How many of you are willing to admit that you probably don't get all the nutrients you need from the food you eat every day? You don't, right? But you know what, folks? You know what has failed society miserably? It's the supplement concept. The body needs whole food. We need whole food. We do not need supplements. The body's not designed to digest rocks or synthetics. We need whole food. You know what marine phytoplankton is? It's whole food. And that's the foundation of our Solar Strip product, okay? And so that's another product, fits in our envelope business model. It can go anywhere in the world for the cost of postage, and it solves another global problem by helping people fill in the gaps and get all of the nutrients that their human body needs. I don't know about y'all, but I want to take good care. We only get one chance at this, right? We only get one body, right? There's not a trade-in program, right? Cars, we can trade them in, right? How many of you guys ever traded in a car? Right? Bodies, not so much, right? So we want to do what we can to take care of our bodies. So I love the fact that we have a nutritional product that's built on, again, a category creator ingredient. Like, you can't get the marine phytoplankton that we have in our product lineup anywhere except for through the FGX product. So again, it meets that criteria of being a unique product, a category creator you can't get anywhere else. And then the other key product in our envelope model is our beauty strips. And so here's our Power Strips, right? We talked about that already. And here is our beauty strips, okay? So here's the thing with beauty strips. Everybody out there, once you get past about the age of, I don't know, let's call it 21, 22, 23, you start kind of feeling like, man, I don't want to start looking old. So we have an anti-aging product, and it's called Beauty Strips, and it's not a cosmetic, folks. It is an anti-aging product. There's a proprietary component to that product called Telegenics 5, and I'll tell you this, whether I'm standing or sitting, it's not going to make a lot of difference, but I'll tell you, it's way above my pay grade. And even if I was on Johnny's shoulders, it'd still be way above my pay grade, okay? I don't have the background to be able to talk about the Telegenics 5, but I'll tell you this. What it does is it reverses the aging process down to the DNA level. So another amazing product that we've got is our Telegenics 5. So, and then our solar strips, which we already talked about, which is our form of daily nutrition. And then here's the other cool thing about FG Xpress. We have a business model called Build and Buy. So we're building a global business with our 3 core line envelope products that can go anywhere on the planet for the cost of postage, okay? Then in addition to that, we've got a farmer's market with a bunch of other incredible, organic, non-GMO, phenomenal products to help deliver wellness that are the best products you can get, and that's part of our build and buy. So we're building the business with our envelope products because they can go anywhere. And then in certain markets, we have the availability of our farmer's market products to just kind of fill in some of those gaps with the foods that we need to be consuming. So phenomenal product lineup with FG Xpress. So that was our second star. Third star, timing. Let me ask everybody a question. Again, I can see the hands here in this room, so I can't out there. But let me ask everybody else a question. How many of you have heard of the concept before? Being in the right place at the right time.
Heck yeah.
So here's the thing. I don't even really need to talk about that. We all already understand that concept. Here's the cool thing about our timing. We're still in pre-launch at the time of this webinar. We are launching our
59 days.
Coming out, Dallas, 59 days away, says Clint Betts. Folks, in Vegas, I don't care where you are watching this webinar, get to the Bellagio on May 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th. There's a couple things I promise you. You will see the grand unveiling of the next revolutionary company that's transforming business globally, transforming people's lives globally, transforming the way people look and feel and see themselves as a productive person who can go after their dreams. But the other thing you'll experience if you come to Vegas with us, you're going to experience some of these fun, loving, incredible people that are in this room tonight. You're going to have a blast. So, folks, right place at the right time because we haven't even launched yet. But I already told you, we're being pre-launched by a parent company that's roughly 12 years old and publicly traded. So we get the best of both worlds with our timing, okay? So here's our 4-star. It's our compensation plan. So let me get a show of hands, actually. I'm going to try to keep this as simple as I can. How many of you in this room know at least 2 people? keep your hands up.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. How many of you know 20 people?
Heck yeah.
How many of you know 200 people? Okay, so a lot of the hands are still up, right? So here's the point, folks. The entire foundation of our compensation plan, I love it because the horsepower is in the simplicity. With just 2 people that join your team with FGX, that join this family, and we help you to do that, with just 2 people that join your team, this compensation plan can pay you up to $20,000 per week. We help you to get 2 people. We help them to get 2 people. We help them to get 2 people. We just continue to duplicate this simple process. And with all the hands that just went up, where everybody in this room right now says they know somewhere between, we'll call it 20 and 200 people, how do you recognize that even if you know just 20 people, chances are most of those 20 have something already in their medicine cabinet for pain, right? Yes or yes?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And for most of those 20, they probably would like to have an extra stream of income or maybe need an extra stream of income. Yes or yes?
Heck yeah.
Of course, right? So folks, this comp plan is something that everybody can do because the people you already know have value for being able to get out of pain, not to mention our other products, and also would value an additional stream of income where with a home-based business, they can start to build an income on the side that can ultimately grow to up to $20,000 a week. How many of you guys could get by on the $20,000 a week until some of the other parts of the comp plan kick in?
Heck yeah.
So here's the cool thing. Our comp plan actually pays a total of 5 separate ways. The $20,000 a week I'm talking about is just one of the 5 ways. But I think we can keep moving from there, right? Because most of us, we can figure out how to get by on 20 grand a week. Yes,
Yeah. Heck yeah.
So can I keep moving?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to keep moving. So here's what this starts to look like, right? We help you to get your 2. If we could do that in 30 days, which there's a lot of people. How many of you guys in this room, for those of you that are already in the business, how many of you had your 2 teammates within your first 30 days in the business?
Yeah.
All right, so about half the hands in the room are going up, folks. So just so you know, this can be done. What this example shows you right here is that if everybody would just allow us to help them, that's the real key to this business. There's no lone rangers in this opportunity. This is the business of people helping people. This is a family, right? So when you go it alone, it can be a little bit rough. If you're willing to let this team of phenomenal people help you, we'll help you get your 2 in 30 days. And then we'll take those 2 and we'll help them get their 2 in 30 days. And if we continue to duplicate that process each 30 days, you know what happens after a year? You get to a point where, for those people just being on their monthly order, using the product, sharing the product, you can arrive at about $6,000 a week within a year. And so, folks, we've got the goods with our comp plan. This thing is the real deal, and it's exploding. You can see some of the income levels here that we've got as we kind of move up the ranks. When Andrew introduced Johnny P, he told you that he is on the Regional 100, which means that he is one of the top 100 distributors in all of North America. Here's what the average payout is for somebody who's getting paid at a 3-star every week. Look at this, $98,480. Johnny already told you he works a full-time job. Johnny, let me ask you a question. How many hours a week do you think you put into building your FG Express business?
10, 12 hours?
10 to 12 hours a week. So, folks, here's what I'm willing to propose. I doubt there's another vehicle out there that you've got access to that's got an FDA-listed product where you're in at the beginning, that's being pre-launched by a team of amazing executives who have built billion-dollar businesses, where it's a publicly traded company, where you've got products that you can't get anywhere else, where in a 10 to 12 hour per week effort, within a year or 2, you could be making 6 figures. Does that sound like a slight upgrade from what most of us do now? Yeah. Of course it is, right? So we've got the upgrade, folks. That's the bottom line, is that from a financial standpoint, we've got the real deal. So we've talked about the first 4 stars. We talked a little about the corporate team. We talked about the product lineup. We talked about the timing. We talked about the compensation plan. And we've sort of been referencing throughout the entire webinar and home meeting here tonight that this thing is built on the foundation of the team, the family. Without the team, I will say this, and some people might challenge me on this, but for the people in this room, I know we all feel the same way. You can scrap the other 4 stars if you're not in the right family.
That's right.
It's just the way it goes, folks. The family, the foundation, the relationships, the people that you're going to run, the people that you're going to be in the trenches with, that's what matters the most. Without a foundation, you have nothing to build on. The foundation in this FG Express opportunity within this family and this team, it is the team. It's the family. We've got some of the most salt of the earth, gifted, humble leaders, servant leaders, people that are dedicated and devoted. And here's the cool thing. I'm not going to start naming names because I would inevitably leave people out, and that wouldn't be fair, but I'll tell you this. There are literally dozens of people on our team, and if you're seeing this for the first time tonight, that would be your team as well, who they would have a vested financial interest in your success, and they have a track record, kind of like the corporate team, of literally helping other people make 6 and 7-figure incomes. Let me ask you guys a question. Before this, if you're already in or if you're new for the first time tonight, how many of you have someone sewing into you, making themselves available to you, being willing to go and help you literally build a business where they've got a track record of helping other people make 6 and 7-figure incomes, right? If you're not in this business, chances are you haven't had that in your life. I know for me, I hadn't. I was a broke real estate broker. Obviously, I'm a slow learner because I didn't realize when I went and signed up for the title of broker that that's where it was going to lead me. But I was a broke real estate broker before I got into this industry. And I'll tell you this, I've been an entrepreneur for 30 years, since before I was a teenager. I went and got a degree in business with an emphasis in marketing. I had 2 previous businesses I built at over $1 million, but I couldn't sustain it. And when I got introduced to this industry back in 2008, I was at rock bottom. Our sole source of income for our family of 4 was real estate. And I don't think I need to remind anybody what was happening in real estate in 2007 and 2008, right? So needless to say, we were in a tough spot. What that forced me to do was some soul searching. I had to ask myself, how does an ambitious guy, a hardworking guy, a guy who was able to get a degree, a guy who's had previous success, how did he end up here? What was missing? How did I end up here? I was worth more money at 18 than I was at 38. That's not a good thing. But one of the conclusions I came to, I did not have a mentor. I did not have someone who had a vested interest in my financial outcome, who was willing to share all their secrets, everything they had learned, who would sow into me. Folks, that's what you get with our team. The teamwork makes the dream work, not only because of the quality of people that this opportunity attracts, but the brilliance of Ron Williams and his team. They incentivize the right behavior in our business. The biggest incentive in our compensation plan is to help the other people on your team. Is that cool or what?
Very.
You guys love that for those of you who are doing this already? Absolutely. So the bottom line is, you've got to ask yourself, oh, that slide's gone. There was a slide here. Well, here's the bottom line that you got to, oh, there it is right there. What are your dreams? That's really, at the end of the day, here's what it boils down to. We've got the 5-star opportunity. We've got the goods. We've got what it takes to allow you, enable you to take your life to the next level. We're blessing people, helping them physically with our products. We've got timing on our side. Okay, we've got a compensation plan that we've already talked about. It can pay out, right? So what this really boils down to, I said the first 4 stars without the foundation of the team were sort of, you know, limited, like they lose their value, right? It's all about the team. Well, here's the other thing you need to know. All 5 stars lose their value without your dream. Without your dream, right? So that's the only real decision. Here's what I love, folks. This opportunity is not on trial, right? The jury is out. Okay, the jury's out. We've got the goods, folks. Go look it up, FPRG. We're growing triple digits right now, month over month. We've got more people that are more fulfilled, more happy, more of the time, healthier, wealthier in spirit, wealthier in attitude, hope for their future. We've got the goods. So what it boils down to now for each and every person who's watching this and the people here tonight that may or may not be building their business yet, what do you want out of your future? That's really, at the end of the day, the only real question yet to be answered. It's your question. What do you want out of your future? We can help you get it. There's a team of dedicated people here that will do that for you. And so we invite you. We invite you to our family. We invite you to come and do life with us. Come run and gun with us, as we call it, right? We have our road warriors right here on Facebook, and you're seeing the pictures at night of people on the freeways driving the miles, man, because we're fueled by helping other people get on the same track with us, where we don't have to wonder about our future anymore. We know we're headed in the right direction, and you can come head there with us. So with that said, folks, we would love for you to join our team. There's a couple of different ways you can get started. I'm not going to get into all that tonight, but just grab the person who invited you here, or who you're watching the webinar with, whatever. Have them explain to you the different ways that you can get started in the way that's most appropriate for you. And we would love to have you join our team. So thanks for joining us tonight, everybody. Thanks for being here and out there in webinar land. We appreciate you being here as well. All right.